Run. That's the only word screaming through my mind as I sprint down the dark alley, my lungs burning, my legs threatening to give out. Behind me I hear them, Tyler's men, getting closer with every second. Sophia? Get back here. Tyler's voice echoes off the brick walls, cold and threatening. You know you can't run from me. But I am running. I have to. Because if he catches me, if he gets his hands on me again, I won't survive. Not this time. My name is Sophia Chen, I'm 26, and 3 hours ago I finally worked up the courage to leave the man who's been systematically destroying me for 2 years. Tyler Morrison, handsome, charming, and absolutely psychotic behind closed doors. He'd isolated me from friends, from family, convinced everyone I was unstable, dramatic, crazy. And when I'd tried to leave before, he'd found me within hours. This time I'd been smarter. Packed nothing, took only my phone and the emergency cash I'd been hiding for months. Waited until he passed out drunk, then ran. I should have known he'd wake up. Should have known he'd come after me with his security team, ex-military guys who did whatever Tyler paid them to do, legal or otherwise. Now I'm racing through downtown at midnight, wearing nothing but jeans and a thin sweater, no plan beyond survival. I burst out of the alley onto a main street, scanning desperately for help. A taxi, a cop, anything. But the street is mostly empty, just a few expensive cars parked along the curb. There. One of Tyler's men spots me and suddenly there are footsteps, multiple sets, closing in. I make a split-second decision that will change everything. The black SUV at the curb, expensive, tinted windows, engine still warm like someone just parked it. The back door is unlocked. I yank it open and throw myself inside, pulling the door shut as quietly as I can and immediately dropping to the floor. Please don't let them see me. Please, please, please. Through the tinted windows, I watch Tyler's men run past, their boots pounding pavement, their voices calling my name. I press my hand over my mouth, trying to quiet my ragged breathing, my heart hammering so hard I'm sure they can hear it. They keep going. Past the SUV, around the corner, their voices fading into the distance. I allow myself one shaky breath of relief. That's when I hear it, a car door opening. The driver's side. Someone getting in. Oh God. Oh God, this is someone's car. Someone's coming back. I should get out. Should run. But my body won't move, frozen in terror and exhaustion and the desperate hope that maybe, just maybe, if I stay very quiet, they won't notice me hiding on their floor. The engine starts. Smooth, powerful. The car begins to move. I know you're back there. The voice is male deep, with a slight accent I can't place. Calm. Too calm for someone who just discovered a stranger hiding in their vehicle. I don't respond. Maybe if I stay quiet, I can hear you breathing. And I can see you in my rearview mirror. A pause. So you can either stay on the floor looking ridiculous, or you can sit up and explain why you're in my car. Slowly, I raise my head just enough to see the mirror. Dark eyes meet mine, assessing, intelligent, and completely unafraid. The man driving is older than me, mid to late 30s maybe, with dark hair and the kind of face that belongs in an Italian Renaissance painting. Sharp cheekbones, strong jaw, a mouth that looks like it rarely smiles. He's wearing an expensive suit, and even from behind I can tell he's built like someone who could break me in half without effort. I'm sorry, I manage, my voice hoarse from running. I'm so sorry, I was running, they were chasing me, I just needed to hide. Who was chasing you? Someone. Someone dangerous. Please, just let me out at the next light, I'll disappear, you'll never see me again. Too late for that. You're already in my car, which makes you my problem now. He turns a corner smoothly. And I don't do well with unsolved problems. I'm not your problem. I'm nobody's problem. I try the door handle. Locked. Child safety locks. Please, just let me out. No. That single word, delivered with absolute finality, makes my stomach drop. What do you mean no? I mean exactly what I said. You climbed into my car uninvited. That creates a situation that requires resolution. So no, I'm not letting you out until I understand what I'm dealing with. His eyes meet mine in the mirror again. Now, let's try this again. Who are you and who was chasing you? It doesn't matter, it matters to me. Because if trouble is chasing you and you brought that trouble into my vehicle, then I need to know exactly what kind of trouble we're discussing. Like my problems are now his problems. Like he has any stake in this whatsoever. My name is Sophia. And the man chasing me is my ex-boyfriend. He's not a good person. I left him tonight and he doesn't accept rejection well. The understatement of the century. That's all you need to know. Now please let me out. Ex-boyfriend. He says it like he's testing the words. Does this ex-boyfriend have a name? Tyler Morrison. I watch his reaction in the mirror, a slight tightening around his eyes, a muscle ticking in his jaw. Recognition. You know him. My blood goes cold. I know of him. Tech industry, new money, likes to throw his weight around in circles where he doesn't belong. His tone suggests deep contempt. What I didn't know is that he's also the kind of man who chases women through the streets at midnight with hired muscle. He's possessive. Controlling. I tried to leave before and my voice breaks. He made it clear that I don't get to leave. That I belong to him. That's very unfortunate for him. The driver turns down a street I don't recognize. Because you're in my car now. Which means you're under my protection. Whether you want to be or not. I don't need protection. I just need to get away, to disappear. To where? How far do you think you'll get with no bag, no coat, and Tyler Morrison's resources tracking you? He sounds almost amused. You made it 3 blocks before hiding in my car. That's not exactly a successful escape plan. It was the best I could do. It was desperate and reckless. Which I understand, desperate times call for desperate measures. But Sophia, you need to understand something. He pulls into an underground parking garage, one that requires a keycard to access. The moment you got into my car, you entered a different world. My world. And in my world, nothing is free. Especially protection. The way he says protection makes warning bells go off in my head. What does that mean? It means you're safe now. Tyler Morrison and his rent-a-thugs can't touch you. But that safety comes with a price. He parks the SUV in a private spot, kills the engine, and finally turns to face me fully. Up close, he's even more devastating. Dark eyes that see too much, a face carved from marble and shadows, and an air of contained violence that makes Tyler's angry outbursts look like children's tantrums. This is a man who doesn't need to shout or threaten. He just is dangerous, inherently, inescapably. What price? I whisper. You owe me. For the protection, for the sanctuary, for whatever comes next. And when I call in that debt, you'll pay it. No questions, no hesitation. That's the deal. He leans back in his seat. So the question is, Sophia Chen, yes, I saw your phone screen, I know your full name, are you desperate enough to accept? Or would you prefer I drop you back where I found you and let Tyler's men collect you? It's not really a choice. Not when the alternative is going back to Tyler, to the cycle of violence and control and slow destruction. What kind of debt? I need to know what I'm agreeing to. I don't know yet. But when I need something from you, you'll do it. No arguments, no refusals. That's the deal. His eyes hold mine. And I always collect my debts, Sophia. Always. I should say no. Should take my chances on my own, find a shelter, call the police. But I've tried the police before. Tyler's lawyers made me look crazy, made my claim seem like the ravings of an unstable ex. And shelters are the first place he'd look. This stranger is offering protection. Real protection, the kind that doesn't come with paperwork and bureaucracy and men like Tyler walking free on bail within hours. Okay. The word comes out as a whisper. I accept. I owe you. Smart girl. He gets out of the car, coming around to open my door like a gentleman, which seems absurd given the conversation we just had. Come on. Let's get you somewhere warm and figure out exactly how much trouble you've brought to my doorstep. He offers his hand. I take it because what choice do I have? His grip is warm, strong, and the moment our skin connects, I feel it, that spark of electricity, of awareness, of something dangerous and compelling and absolutely terrifying. I'm Luca, he says as he leads me toward an elevator. Luca Moretti. Welcome to my world, Sophia. Try not to get yourself killed while you're here. The elevator requires a keycard and a code. We ride up in silence, and I try not to think about what I've just agreed to. Try not to wonder what kind of man offers protection to strangers in exchange for undefined future favors. Try not to notice how safe I feel standing next to him, despite knowing absolutely nothing about who he is or what he wants. The elevator opens directly into a penthouse that takes my breath away. Floor-to-ceiling windows overlooking the city, modern furniture that screams money and taste, art on the walls that might be originals. This is the home of someone very wealthy and very powerful. Sit. Luca gestures to a leather couch. I'll get you something to drink. Water? Wine? Something stronger? Water is fine. My throat is raw from running. He disappears into the kitchen, and I take the opportunity to really look around. Everything is immaculate, organized, controlled. Like the man himself. On the coffee table, I notice a phone buzzing. Luca's phone, lighting up with messages in Italian. I can't read them, but I can see they're urgent, insistent. He returns with water and what looks like whiskey for himself. Drink. Then we're going to have a conversation about Tyler Morrison and exactly why he thinks he owns you. He doesn't own me. Good. Then this should be a short conversation. He settles across from me, all controlled power and patience. Start from the beginning. How did you end up with a man like Tyler Morrison? So I tell him. About meeting Tyler 2 years ago, about how charming he was at first, how the control started slowly, small criticisms, suggestions about my clothes, my friends, my job. How it escalated into isolation, into monitoring my phone, into rage when I didn't obey quickly enough. How the first time he hit me, he cried and apologized and swore it would never happen again. How it happened again. And again. Luca listens without interrupting, his expression growing progressively darker. And tonight? He asks when I finish. Tonight, he came home drunk and angry about something at work. Started yelling about how I was useless, how I never appreciated what he did for me. I knew that tone, knew what was coming. So when he passed out on the couch, I ran. Just ran with nothing but my phone and some cash. I wrapped my arms around myself. He's not going to let this go. He'll find me. He always finds me. Not this time. Luca's voice is cold, final. Because you're not out there alone anymore. You're here, under my protection. And nobody touches what's mine. I'm not yours, you accepted my deal. That makes you mine until your debt is paid. He leans forward. Which means Tyler Morrison has a problem. Because I don't share well, Sophia. And I especially don't share with men who think they can terrorize women and get away with it. There's something in his voice, something dark and dangerous and absolutely serious, that makes me believe him. This isn't bravado. This is a man stating facts. What are you going to do? First, keep you safe. Get you settled. Make sure Tyler knows you're off limits. His smile is sharp. After that? We'll see. Depends on how smart he is about accepting the new situation. And if he's not smart? Then I'll educate him. Thoroughly. He finishes his whiskey. But that's tomorrow's problem. Tonight you need rest. Come on, I'll show you to the guest room. The guest room is nicer than any apartment I've ever lived in. King-sized bed, ensuite bathroom, a closet that opens to reveal clothes in my size. How? I made a call while you were drinking your water. My assistant is efficient. He hands me a phone, new, pre-programmed. My number is in there. You need anything, you call me. Day or night. Understood? Why are you helping me? Because you asked for help by getting into my car. And because I have particular feelings about men like Tyler Morrison. His expression darkens. Get some rest. Tomorrow we discuss terms of your debt and how long you'll be staying here. He's almost to the door when I find my voice. Luca? Thank you. For not just throwing me out. Don't thank me yet. You don't know what I'm going to ask of you. But his tone is softer. Sleep well, Sophia. You're safe here. I promise. The door closes behind him, and I'm alone in luxury I don't deserve, protected by a man I don't know, owing a debt I can't define. But for the first time in 2 years, I don't have to sleep with one eye open. Don't have to calculate Tyler's mood, gauge his anger, prepare for violence. For the first time in 2 years, I'm safe. Even if that safety came with strings attached. Day 2, I woke up disoriented, the unfamiliar ceiling and expensive sheets confusing me for a moment before everything came rushing back. Tyler. Running. Hiding in Luca Moretti's car. The deal I'd made. You owe me. Sunlight streamed through floor-to-ceiling windows, and I could hear sounds from somewhere in the penthouse, the clink of dishes, the quiet murmur of voices. I checked the phone Luca had given me. 8 a.m. I'd slept for almost 7 hours straight, the most I'd managed in months. The closet revealed not just the clothes from last night but more, jeans in my size, sweaters, even pajamas still in packaging. Someone had been very efficient while I slept. After showering and changing into jeans and a soft gray sweater, I ventured out of the guest room. The penthouse looked different in daylight, still luxurious but lived in. Books on shelves, a coffee mug on the counter, small signs of actual life beyond the showpiece aesthetic. "Good morning." Luca's voice came from the kitchen. He was making breakfast, wearing dark jeans and a fitted black t-shirt that showed off a build that suggested serious gym time. And tattoos, I could see them now, intricate designs covering both forearms, disappearing under his sleeves. "Coffee? Please." I settled on a bar stool, watching him work. "You didn't have to make breakfast." "I was making it anyway. Adding eggs for a second person isn't difficult." He slid a mug toward me, perfectly prepared with cream and sugar, though I hadn't told him how I took my coffee. "Sleep well?" "Better than I have in months." I wrapped my hands around the mug. "About last night? We'll discuss terms after breakfast. But first, there's something you need to see." He pulled out a tablet, queuing up a video. "Tyler Morrison held a press conference this morning. Watch." I watched Tyler's face fill the screen, perfectly composed, concerned, the picture of a worried boyfriend. "I'm asking anyone who's seen Sophia Chen to please contact the police. She left our home last night without her medication, and I'm very worried about her mental state. Sophia suffers from delusions, paranoia. She needs help, not judgment. If you see her, please don't approach. She can be unpredictable when she's off her medication. Just call the police." The video ended. I stared at the screen, feeling sick. He's telling everyone I'm crazy. He's establishing a narrative. If you surface, anything you say about him gets dismissed as delusions. Lucas set down a plate of eggs and toast. "It's a smart play. Preemptive character assassination. I'm not delusional. I'm not crazy, I know." His voice was firm. "I've seen enough people in genuine psychiatric crisis to recognize the difference. You're terrified, traumatized, running for your life. That's not delusion. That's survival." He sat across from me. "But Sophia, this complicates things. You can't just surface and tell your story now. He's poisoned that well. You need a different approach." "What approach?" "You stay here. Under my protection. Completely off the grid until we build a case that can't be dismissed as the ravings of a mentally unstable woman." He took a sip of coffee. "Which brings us to our agreement. Your debt." My stomach tightened. "What do you want?" "For now? Your presence. Your cooperation. Your trust." He leaned back. "I have enemies, Sophia. People who would use any perceived weakness against me. You being here under my protection, that could be seen as weakness. A soft spot. So if you're going to stay, you need to be more than just a woman I'm sheltering out of pity." "What does that mean?" "It means we need a cover story. A reason for you to be here that makes sense to people in my world." His dark eyes held mine. "So here's the deal. You're not a refugee. You're my girlfriend. My woman. Someone I chose to have in my life, not someone I'm protecting out of obligation." "You want me to pretend to be your girlfriend?" "I want you to be convincing enough that no one questions why I'm investing resources in keeping you safe. In my world, that means a relationship. It means you on my arm at events in my home, playing the role of devoted companion." He said it matter-of-factly, like he was discussing a business arrangement. "That's your debt. For as long as it takes to handle Tyler and get you genuinely safe, you belong to me. Publicly at least. And privately?" "Privately, we maintain whatever boundaries you're comfortable with. I'm not Tyler, Sophia. I don't force myself on women. But publicly, we need to sell this. Make it believable. Make it unquestionable." He stood, refilling his coffee. "Can you do that?" I thought about Tyler's press conference, about how effectively he'd trapped me. Going public now would be useless, I'd just be the crazy ex-girlfriend making wild accusations. But this, playing Luca's girlfriend, staying in his world. What happens when this is over? When Tyler's handled and I'm safe? Then your debt is paid. You walk away with enough money to start over anywhere you want. Clean identity if you need it, security if you want it. But you'll be free. He met my eyes. "I'm not keeping you prisoner, Sophia. I'm offering you a temporary role in exchange for protection and eventual freedom. Take it or leave it. And if I leave? Then you're on your own. I'll drop you at a women's shelter with a recommendation, but after that, Tyler Morrison is your problem, not mine." His voice was neutral. Choose wisely. It wasn't really a choice. Stay with Luca and play pretend, or take my chances with shelters and police who'd already been primed to see me as unstable. Okay. I'll do it. I'll be your girlfriend. The word felt strange. But I need rules. Boundaries. I need to know exactly what you expect. Fair enough. He pulled out his phone, typing something. Come on. We're going shopping. If you're going to play the role, you need to look the part. Shopping? Clothes, jewelry, everything you need to be believable as Luca Moretti's woman. I can't have you wearing borrowed clothes and looking like a refugee. He grabbed keys from the counter. Consider it an investment in the performance. 2 hours later, I'd been fitted for more clothes than I'd owned in my entire life. Dresses, casual wear, shoes, accessories. Luca stood by watching, occasionally vetoing choices or suggesting alternatives, his taste impeccable. This is too much, I said as the boutique owner rang up the 5th store's worth of purchases. This is necessary. People will judge you based on appearance. I need them to see you as someone who belongs with me, not someone I picked up off the streets. He handed over a black credit card without looking at the total. Besides, consider it part of your compensation. You're doing me a favor by playing this role. Am I? Or are you doing me a favor by protecting me? Both. That's what makes this arrangement work, mutual benefit. He guided me toward the next store. Now, jewelry. Something that makes a statement. The jewelry store was the kind of place where everything was kept in locked cases and the staff assessed your worth before deciding if you were worth their time. They took one look at Luca and practically fell over themselves helping. Something for your lady? The manager asked, all smiles and obsequiousness. A necklace. Something bold but elegant. And a bracelet to match. Luca barely glanced at the displays before pointing to a set that probably cost more than a car. That one. Excellent choice, Mr. Moretti. Your taste is impeccable as always. As always. Luca was clearly a regular customer here. Try it on, he instructed me, and the manager carefully draped the diamond necklace around my neck. It was stunning, delicate but noticeable, the kind of piece that screamed money without being gaudy. Perfect. Luca's eyes met mine in the mirror. We'll take the set. Luca, this is insane. This must cost. Don't worry about cost. Worry about playing your role convincingly. He turned to the manager. Box them up. She'll wear the necklace out. In the car afterward, laden with shopping bags, I finally asked the question that had been building. Who are you, Luca Moretti? Really? Because normal people don't offer protection to strangers. Normal people don't have this kind of money or this kind of influence. He was quiet for a moment, navigating traffic with practiced ease. I'm not normal people, Sophia. I run certain operations in this city. Import-export mostly. But also conflict resolution, resource management, the kind of business that operates outside traditional channels. You're in the mafia. That's a very reductive term. But yes, my family has certain connections to organized entities that operate parallel to legal structures. He said it so calmly, like discussing any business. Does that scare you? It should have. Should have sent me running. But honestly, after 2 years with Tyler, after experiencing the kind of casual violence that came from an entitled tech bro with anger issues, Luca's controlled danger felt almost safer. Should it scare me? Probably. But I think you're past the point of letting fear dictate your choices. You're in survival mode, which means you're evaluating threats rationally. He glanced at me. Am I a threat to you, Sophia? I don't know yet. Honest. I appreciate that. He pulled into the penthouse garage. For what it's worth, I meant what I said. I don't hurt women. Don't force them. Don't cross lines they haven't invited me to cross. That's not how I operate. But you hurt people. In your business. When necessary. When they've earned it through their own actions. He came around to open my door. But you haven't earned anything except protection. So no, I'm not a threat to you. I'm the thing standing between you and actual threats. Back in the penthouse, my old phone, started buzzing. Tyler's number. Then again. And again. 12 calls in rapid succession. He knows you're still in the city, Luca observed, watching the phone light up. Probably has people checking shelters, hospitals, anywhere you might run to. Good thing you're here instead. How long before he finds out I'm with you? He won't. Not unless we want him to. Luca picked up my old phone, examining it. This needs to go. He's probably tracking it. Use only the phone I gave you from now on. He took my old phone to the kitchen, pulled out a hammer and systematically destroyed it. The violence was casual, efficient, final. There. Problem solved. He tossed the pieces in the trash. Now. Tonight we have dinner with my family. Consider it your debut as my girlfriend. Think you can handle it? Your family? Already? No point delaying. The sooner they meet you, the sooner the word spreads that Luca Moretti has a woman. That gives you legitimacy, protection through association. He checked his watch. We leave at 6. Wear the black dress from the second boutique and the diamonds. First impressions matter. What do I tell them? About how we met. Keep it simple. We met at a gallery opening last month, I asked you to dinner, things progressed naturally. They won't ask too many questions, they're just happy I'm seeing someone after. He trailed off. After what? After my fiancée died 3 years ago. Car bombing meant for me. She was collateral damage. His expression shuddered. My family's been trying to set me up ever since. Your presence will get them off my back, which is a bonus. I'm sorry. About your fiancé. Don't be. It's ancient history. But his voice suggested otherwise. Go. Rest before tonight. Family dinners in my world are more exhausting than you'd think. In the guest room, I tried to process everything. I'd gone from Tyler's prisoner to Luca's, what? Protected asset? Fake girlfriend? Debt holder? But for the first time in 2 years, I had beautiful clothes I'd chosen myself. Jewelry I could wear without wondering if it was a collar or a gift. And most importantly, I had safety. Real, tangible safety from a man dangerous enough to enforce it. The question was, what was I willing to pay for that safety? And how long before Luca called in the debt I owed him? I looked at the black dress hanging in the closet, the diamonds sitting in their velvet box. Tonight I'd play the role. Luca Moretti's girlfriend, devoted and convincing. And maybe, just maybe, I'd figure out if I was making a deal with someone better than Tyler, or just trading one dangerous man for another. Day 2, evening. The Moretti family home was a mansion in the suburbs, old money elegance mixed with the kind of security that suggested the family took threats seriously. Guards at the gate, cameras at every angle, men in suits stationed strategically around the property. Nervous? Luca asked as we pulled up the circular driveway. Terrified. I smoothed down the black dress for the 100th time. What if they don't believe we're together? What if they ask questions I can't answer? Then I'll answer for you. Just follow my lead, smile when appropriate, and let me do most of the talking. He came around to open my door, offering his hand. And Sophia? Touch me. Often. Casual contact like it's natural. That sells the relationship more than anything else. His hand found the small of my back as we approached the entrance, warm and possessive through the thin fabric of my dress. The front door opened before we could knock, revealing a tiny woman with dark hair and eyes that missed nothing. Luca. Finally, you bring someone to meet your mother. She pulled him down for kisses on both cheeks, then turned to me with open curiosity. And who is this beautiful girl? Mama, this is Sophia. Sophia, my mother, Rosa Moretti. Luca's voice was warmer than I'd heard it, genuine affection softening his usual control. Sophia. Rosa took both my hands, studying my face with an intensity that made me feel transparent. Welcome. Come inside. Everyone is waiting to meet Luca's mysterious girlfriend. Everyone turned out to be a lot of people. Luca's 2 younger brothers, Marco and Nico, with their wives. His sister Isabella and her husband. Assorted cousins and what seemed like half the Italian community in the city. They all spoke over each other, switching between English and Italian, loud and warm and overwhelming. This is Sophia, Luca kept saying, his arm around my waist like an anchor. My girlfriend. We met at a gallery opening last month. The reactions ranged from surprise to delight to suspicion. Marco pulled Luca aside almost immediately, speaking in rapid Italian that I couldn't follow but definitely sounded like interrogation. Don't worry about them. Isabella appeared at my elbow with wine. They're just shocked. Luca hasn't brought anyone home since Elena died. The fact that he's introducing you to the family means you're serious. Or he wants us to think you are. Her tone suggested she suspected the latter. We're serious, I said, hoping I sounded convincing. He's been wonderful. Has he? Her eyes were too knowing. Sophia, word of advice. My brother doesn't do anything without reason. If he's claiming you as his girlfriend, he has a purpose beyond romance. Just be careful you understand what that purpose is. Before I could respond, Rosa called us all to dinner. The dining table was massive, covered in enough food to feed an army. I was seated next to Luca, his mother on my other side, and the interrogation began immediately. So, Sophia, tell us about yourself. Where are you from? What do you do? I gave them the sanitized version Luca and I had prepared, grew up in California, moved here for work, digital marketing consultant. Close enough to truth to be believable, vague enough to avoid details. And how did you meet my Luca? Gallery opening. Contemporary art exhibit. I was there for a client, he was there for the art. We started talking, he asked me to dinner. I glanced at Luca, who was watching me with approval. One dinner turned into many. Love at first sight. Rosa beamed. I knew it. I told you, Luca, when you meet the right one you know immediately. You were right, Mama. Luca's hand found mine under the table, squeezing gently. A reminder, a reassurance, a claim. I knew immediately that Sophia was special. The way he said it, the way he looked at me, anyone would believe him. Hell, I almost believed him, and I knew it was an act. After dinner, the men disappeared to Luca's father's study, apparently some family business discussion, leaving me with the women. Rosa, Isabella, and the cousins settled in the living room with coffee and dessert, their attention immediately focusing on me. So, one of the cousins said with a smile that didn't reach her eyes. You've stolen the heart of the city's most eligible bachelor. That must feel very satisfying. I didn't steal anything. We fell for each other. I kept my voice light. It was natural, organic. Nothing about Luca is organic. He's calculated about everything. Isabella studied me over her coffee cup. Which makes me wonder what calculation brought you into his life. Maybe he just wanted companionship. Maybe he was tired of being alone. I met her gaze steadily. Is that so hard to believe? For Luca? Yes. But her expression softened slightly. But I hope I'm wrong. I hope you're exactly what you appear to be. He deserves happiness. He's been alone too long. Rosa patted my hand. Don't mind them. They're protective of Luca. He's had a hard time since Elena. But I can see he cares for you. A mother knows these things. Did she? Could she see that this was all performance, protection dressed up as romance? Or was Luca just that good at deception that even his own mother couldn't tell the difference? The men returned after an hour, Luca immediately finding me in the crowd, his hand sliding to my waist in that possessive gesture that was becoming familiar. Ready to go? He murmured. Or do you need rescuing from my family's questions? Rescuing would be good. I leaned into him, playing the role. Your family is lovely but exhausting. They liked you. Especially my mother. That's good. He guided me toward the door, making our goodbyes. We'll see you all Sunday for dinner. Sophia will be there. In the car, I finally let myself relax, the tension of performance draining away. You did well, Luca said. Very convincing. Even Isabella almost believed you, and she's the hardest to fool. She knows something's off. She just can't figure out what. Isabella's always been too smart for her own good. But she'll keep whatever suspicions she has to herself. Family loyalty. He navigated the dark streets with practiced ease. How are you holding up? First day was intense. I feel like I'm in a play where everyone knows their lines except me. I looked at the diamonds around my neck, visible in the passing streetlights. This isn't real. None of this is real. But it feels real when we're performing. The best lies always have truth in them. You're staying in my home, wearing clothes I bought you, protected by my resources. Those facts are real. We're just adding romantic context to explain them. He glanced at me. Does it bother you? The deception? Should it? Most people would find it uncomfortable. Lying to my family, to everyone. Pretending intimacy that doesn't exist. I spent 2 years pretending everything was fine with Tyler when he was destroying me. This is easy by comparison. At least here, the pretending keeps me safe instead of trapped. I turned to face him. What bothers me is not knowing what happens next. Tyler's still out there. Still looking for me. How long do we keep up this act? As long as necessary. Until Tyler either moves on or makes a mistake I can capitalize on. His voice hardened. Or until he pushes too far and I handle him permanently. Handle him how? Better you don't know details. Plausible deniability. He pulled into the penthouse garage. But Sophia, understands something. Tyler Morrison doesn't get to terrorize you anymore. That ended the moment you got in my car. Whether he accepts that reality peacefully or learns it through experience, that's his choice. But the outcome is the same, you're off limits. Forever. The certainty in his voice should have scared me. Instead, it made me feel safer than I had in years. Back in the penthouse, Luca poured us both wine, settling on the couch with the ease of someone completely comfortable in his space. Come here. He patted the seat next to him. We should talk about boundaries. I sat, maintaining a careful distance. What about them? You're living in my home. Playing my girlfriend in public. That requires certain intimacies. Physical contact, casual affection, the appearance of comfort with each other. He took a sip of wine. But I need to know your limits. What you're comfortable with, what you're not. I don't cross lines without permission, Sophia. That's not how I operate. Tyler never asked permission. Never cared about boundaries. I'm not Tyler. His voice was firm. So tell me, what are your rules? I thought about it, about what I could handle versus what would trigger panic. Hand-holding is fine. Your arm around me, guiding me, that's okay. Kisses on the forehead, cheek, that works. But anything more intimate, anything that feels too real. I need warning. I need to be prepared, not surprised. Reasonable. What about sharing space? The bedroom situation? Separate rooms. At least for now. I need my own space, somewhere that's just mine. Agreed. Anything else? Don't lock me in. Don't take my phone. Don't track my movements or question where I go. If I'm going to pretend to be your girlfriend, I need to not feel like a prisoner. Fair enough. Though the tracking is for security, not control. Tyler's still a threat. He set down his wine. But I won't lock you in. You're free to come and go. Just tell me where you're going so I can ensure you have protection. Protection meaning your men following me. Protection meaning you don't end up back in Tyler's hands. Yes, my men will follow you. Discreetly. You won't even notice them. He leaned back. Anything else? What about you? What are your rules? Only one. Don't betray me. Don't talk to Tyler, don't go to the police about my business, don't give anyone reason to question whether you're really mine. Do that and we're fine. Break that rule. He didn't finish the sentence. Didn't need to. The implication was clear. I won't betray you. I made a deal. I keep my deals. Good. He stood, offering his hand. Come on. It's late. You've had a long day. Get some rest. He walked me to the guest room, his hand on my back the whole way. At the door, he paused. Sophia? Thank you. For tonight, for playing along, for not making this more difficult than it needs to be. I know this situation isn't what you wanted. But you're handling it with grace. I don't have much choice. You always have choices. You're choosing to stay, to cooperate, to trust me. That matters. He pressed a kiss to my forehead, warm and brief. Good night. Sleep well. Tomorrow we start teaching you how to really sell this relationship. But tonight you can just be yourself. The door closed behind him and I was alone. I touched the diamonds at my throat, expensive and foreign and somehow comforting. One day down. However many more to go until I was free of Tyler, free of this arrangement, free to be just Sophia again instead of Luca Moretti's fake girlfriend. But as I got ready for bed, I couldn't help wondering, what if I didn't want to go back to being just Sophia? What if playing this role was better than the reality I'd left behind? What if, somewhere in all this performance and pretense, I was becoming someone I actually wanted to be? I fell asleep in expensive sheets, safe behind locked doors and armed guards, and for the second night in a row didn't have nightmares about Tyler. Instead, I dreamed of dark eyes and dangerous promises, of a man who protected instead of controlled, who asked permission instead of taking without asking. And when I woke up, I wasn't sure if that made things better or infinitely more complicated. Week 2 weeks of being Luca Moretti's pretend girlfriend had taught me several things. First, his world operated on rules I was still learning. Respect, loyalty, and discretion mattered more than money or power. Second, playing the role of devoted companion was easier when the man I was pretending with was actually good company. And third, somewhere between the public performances and private conversations, the line between pretending and reality was getting dangerously blurred. "You're getting better at this," Luca observed as we left yet another business dinner. His hand was on my back, warm and familiar now. "You barely flinched when Carmine kissed your hand." "Carmine is 80 and harmless. It's the younger ones who make me nervous." I settled into the car. "The ones who look at me like they're trying to figure out what you see in me. They're trying to figure out if you're a weakness they can exploit. That's why we need to be convincing." He started the engine. "Speaking of which, we have an event this weekend. Charity gala, black tie, lots of important people. Consider it your society debut. Another performance. Another opportunity to cement your role as my woman. The more people who see us together believe we're legitimate, the safer you are." He glanced at me. "Plus, it'll irritate Tyler if word gets back to him that you've moved on to someone in a completely different league." "Has he been looking for me?" "Constantly. He's had people checking hospitals, shelters, reaching out to your old friends. Even filed a missing persons report, playing the concerned boyfriend." Luca's voice was cold. "But he's getting nowhere. You're a ghost. And that's driving him insane." "Good. Let Tyler feel a fraction of the helplessness he'd made me feel for 2 years. Back at the penthouse, Luca poured wine while I kicked off the heels that were slowly destroying my feet. This had become our routine: events, performances, then quiet evenings where we dropped the act and just talked. About everything and nothing. Books, movies, childhood memories, the strange paths that had led us both to this moment. "Can I ask you something?" I curled up on the couch, wine in hand. "And will you give me an honest answer?" "Depends on the question." "Elena, your fiancée. What was she like?" He was quiet for a long moment, his expression unreadable. "Why do you want to know?" "Because everyone keeps comparing me to her. Saying you haven't brought anyone home since her. I want to understand what I'm being measured against." "You're not being measured against anyone." But he sat down, considering his words carefully. "Elena was safe. Predictable. She came from a family like mine, understood the rules, knew what being with me meant. We were engaged because it made sense, not because of some grand passion." "Did you love her?" "I cared about her. Whether it was love or just comfortable companionship, I never got the chance to figure out." His jaw tightened. "She died because someone wanted to hurt me. Used her as leverage, as collateral. That's when I learned that caring about someone makes them a target." "Is that why you've been alone since then?" "Because it's safer." "Safer for them, yes. My world is dangerous, Sophia. People I care about end up hurt or dead or used against me. It's better to keep everyone at arm's length." He took a long drink. "Which is why this arrangement works. You're here out of necessity, not emotion. When it's over, you walk away unharmed. No casualties, no collateral damage." "And if I don't want to walk away when it's over?" The words were out before I could stop them, and the silence that followed was deafening. Luca's eyes met mine, dark and intense. Don't what?" "Don't catch feelings for this arrangement. For me. This is temporary, Sophia. You're playing a role. When Tyler's handled and you're safe, this ends. You get your freedom, your new life, and you forget Luca Moretti ever existed. And if I can't forget? Then you're smarter than I gave you credit for, because this life isn't for you. You deserve normal, safe, someone who won't paint a target on your back just by caring about you." He stood abruptly. "I'm going to work out. Get some sleep. We have a long day tomorrow." He left me alone with my wine and my complicated feelings, and I realized I'd made a mistake. Admitting, even obliquely, that I was developing real feelings for him. That somewhere between the performances and the protection, I'd started seeing Luca as more than just my temporary guardian. I'd started seeing him as someone I could actually care about. My new phone buzzed. A text from an unknown number. "I know where you are. You can't hide forever." My blood went cold. I grabbed the phone, running to find Luca. He was in his home gym, hitting a punching bag with controlled violence, shirtless and covered in sweat and tattoos I'd never seen fully displayed before. "Luca." My voice came out shakier than I wanted. "Tyler. He texted me." He stopped immediately, taking the phone from my shaking hands. His expression darkened as he read the message. How did he get this number? I don't know. Only your family and your people have it. I haven't given it to anyone else. Then we have a leak. He was already pulling out his own phone, making calls in rapid Italian. Marco? We have a security breach. Someone gave Tyler Morrison Sophia's new number. Find out who. Now. He hung up, his attention back on me. Pack a bag. We're leaving. Leaving? Where? Somewhere safer. Somewhere Tyler can't reach even if he has inside information. He was already moving, grabbing keys and a gun I hadn't known he kept in the gym. 5 minutes, Sophia. Pack essentials only. We move fast. 10 minutes later, we were in his car, speeding through dark streets. Luca kept checking mirrors, taking random turns, the kind of evasive driving that suggested genuine concern. Where are we going? Safe house. Property in my name that only a handful of people know about. If someone in my organization is feeding Tyler information, we need to be somewhere off the books. He took another sharp turn. I'm sorry. This is my fault. I should have been more careful about who knew about you. It's not your fault. Tyler's resourceful and connected and apparently more dangerous than we thought. He's dead. The moment I figure out how he got that number, how he found you, he's dead. Luca's voice was ice. Nobody threatens what's mine. Nobody. I'm not really yours though. This is just, you're under my protection. That makes you mine. The distinction doesn't matter when it comes to threats. He pulled into an underground garage I didn't recognize. Come on. Stay close to me. The safe house was an apartment in a nondescript building, clean, functional, clearly maintained but not lived in. Luca swept the space professionally before letting me enter, checking closets and windows with the efficiency of someone trained in security protocols. We're alone. No bugs, no cameras. Just us. He finally relaxed slightly, setting down his gun on the kitchen counter. You okay? I'm terrified. Tyler found me. Even with all your protection, all your resources, he still found me. He found a phone number. That's not the same as finding you. And whoever gave him that number, they're going to regret it. He pulled me into his arms, and for once, the embrace felt less like performance and more like genuine comfort. I won't let him hurt you. I promise. I let myself lean into him, breathing in his scent, cologne and sweat and something indefinably him. This was dangerous. Getting attached, finding comfort in his protection, letting my guard down. But I was so tired of being strong, of fighting, of running. Luca. My voice was muffled against his chest. What happens if you can't stop him? If Tyler's more connected than we thought? Then I eliminate the problem permanently. But it won't come to that. Tyler Morrison is a tech bro with money and entitlement. He paused. I'm something else entirely. And he's about to learn the difference. We stayed at the safe house for 3 days while Luca's people investigated the leak. During that time I saw a different side of him, not the controlled businessman or the charming fake boyfriend, but the strategist. The enforcer. The man who made problems disappear. He made calls in Italian, his voice cold and commanding. Reviewed security footage on his laptop. Had meetings with men who looked like they could kill you with their bare hands and not lose sleep over it. And through it all, he was protective of me. Gentle, even making sure I ate, checking if I needed anything, maintaining a barrier between me and the violence he was clearly orchestrating somewhere out of my sight. On the 3rd night, he came back to the safe house after being gone all day, blood on his knuckles. Is that yours? I asked, already reaching for the first aid kit I'd seen in the bathroom. Not mine. Sit down, I'll clean it myself. Let me help. I took his hand, carefully cleaning the split knuckles. Did you find who leaked my number? I found him. He won't be leaking anything else. The way he said it told me everything I needed to know about what had happened to the leak. And Tyler? Still breathing. For now. But I sent him a message. Had my people deliver it personally to his penthouse. Luca's smile was sharp. Let's just say I made it very clear that continuing to look for you would be hazardous to his health. What kind of message? The kind that involves making his security team disappear for a few hours and leaving very explicit threats written in places he'll see them. Nothing that can be traced back to me, but everything designed to make him understand exactly what kind of man is protecting you. He winced as I cleaned a particularly deep cut. He's scared now. Good. Scared people make mistakes. Or they get desperate and dangerous. Either way, I'll be ready. He caught my hand as I finished bandaging his knuckles. Sophia, I need you to understand something. What I did today, what I'm going to do if Tyler keeps pushing, that's who I am. Not the charming dinner companion or the devoted fake boyfriend. The man who hurts people when they threaten what's mine. Can you accept that? I looked at his damaged hands, evidence of violence done on my behalf. Looked at his face, still beautiful despite the cold calculation in his eyes. Looked at the man who'd protected me, sheltered me, given me safety I'd never thought I'd find. I accept it. All of it. Because Luca, you're protecting me from someone who would have killed me eventually. Tyler was escalating. Getting more violent, more unpredictable. You're not the villain in this story. You're the only reason I'm alive. That's very understanding of you. That's survival. I know what you are. I'm choosing to stay anyway. I squeezed his bandaged hand gently. Does that make me complicit in your world? It makes you pragmatic. And possibly insane. But he was smiling slightly. We can go back to the penthouse tomorrow. The leak's been eliminated, security's been tightened, Tyler's been warned. You're as safe as I can make you. That night, lying in the unfamiliar bed of the safe house, I heard my door open. Lucas stood in the doorway, backlit by the hallway light. Can't sleep? I asked. Wanted to make sure you're okay. Today was intense. I'm okay. Scared but okay. I pulled back the covers. Stay. Just stay. I don't want to be alone tonight. He hesitated, and I saw the internal debate play across his face. But eventually he crossed the room, sliding into bed beside me. He didn't touch me, maintained a careful distance, but his presence was enough. Just sleep, Sophia. Tomorrow we go back to normal. Well, our version of normal. Luca? Thank you. For everything. For protecting me, for caring when you didn't have to. I always keep my debts. You owe me, remember? Can't collect if you're dead. But his voice was soft, almost tender. I fell asleep with him beside me, feeling safer than I had any right to feel given the circumstances. And if I woke in the middle of the night to find his arm around me, both of us having gravitated toward each other in sleep, I didn't mention it. Some truths were better left unspoken. Week 4, the charity gala, was exactly as terrible as I'd anticipated, and somehow worse. Too many people in too expensive clothes, making small talk that felt like verbal chess. But Luca had been right. My presence on his arm turned heads, generated whispers, established me as a fixture in his world. You're doing beautifully, he murmured as we made the rounds. His hand never left my waist, possessive and warm. Half the room is trying to figure out where I found you, and the other half is jealous they didn't find you first. I feel like I'm on display. You are? That's the point. By tomorrow, everyone who matters will know that Luca Moretti has a woman. That gives you legitimacy, protection by association. He guided me toward a group of older men in expensive suits. Smile. These are business associates. Important ones. I smiled, played my role, let Luca introduce me as his girlfriend with pride in his voice that almost sounded real. We were good at this now, after a month of practice. The casual touches, the inside jokes, the way he looked at me like I was precious. All performance, all carefully calculated. Except it was starting to feel less calculated and more genuine. Luca Moretti. Didn't expect to see you here. The voice was cold, male, vaguely familiar. I turned to find a man about Luca's age, handsome in a conventional way, with eyes that held nothing but calculation. Marcus. Luca's entire body tensed. I could say the same about you. Charity galas aren't usually your scene. I'm expanding my social circle. Networking. Marcus's eyes slid to me, assessing. And who's this? The mysterious girlfriend everyone's been talking about. Sophia, this is Marcus Romano. And associate. Marcus, my girlfriend Sophia Chen. The way Lucas said associate suggested they were anything but friendly colleagues. Marcus extended his hand, and I shook it briefly, noting how his grip lingered a fraction too long. Sophia Chen. Interesting name. You know, I heard something curious recently. About a woman named Sophia Chen who went missing a few weeks ago. Her boyfriend, Tyler Morrison, tech industry, filed a missing persons report. Said she was mentally unstable, off her medication. Marcus's smile was sharp. Quite the coincidence, don't you think? My blood went cold. Luca's arm tightened around my waist. Coincidences happen. Common name. Luca's voice was ice. And I don't appreciate you interrogating my girlfriend at a social event, Marcus. We're done here. Of course. Just making conversation. But Marcus's eyes held knowledge threat. Enjoy your evening, Sophia. I'm sure we'll be seeing more of each other. He disappeared into the crowd, and Luca immediately guided me toward the exit. We're leaving. Now, he knows. Luca, he knows who I am, he suspects. That's different from knowing. But his jaw was tight. Marco, bring the car around. Front entrance. In the car, Luca made a series of calls in rapid Italian, his voice clipped and commanding. When he finally hung up, he looked at me with an expression I couldn't read. Marcus Romano is a problem. He's been trying to undermine my family's operations for years. If he's connected you to Tyler Morrison, if he figures out you're not really my girlfriend but a refugee I'm protecting, he can use me against you. Exactly. Which means we need to make this more convincing. More real. He pulled into the penthouse garage. Sophia, I need to ask you something, and I need you to think carefully before answering. What? Would you be willing to take this arrangement further? Make it legal, binding, impossible to question. He turned to face me fully. I'm asking if you'd marry me. Not for real, but for protection. A paper marriage that makes you legally untouchable. I stared at him, trying to process what he was asking. Marriage. It would solve multiple problems. Give you legal protection, make your presence in my life unquestionable, and shut down any investigation Marcus or Tyler might pursue. As my wife, you'd be family. Off limits. Protected by more than just my word. And what do you get out of this? Peace of mind that you're safe. And honestly, my mother will stop trying to set me up with daughters of business associates. His lips quirked slightly. Consider it mutually beneficial. This is insane. We've known each other a month. We've known each other long enough for me to trust you. For you to trust me. That's more than most marriages start with. He took my hand. I'm not asking you to love me, Sophia. I'm asking you to let me protect you in the most legally binding way possible. After Tyler's handled, after the threats eliminated, we can quietly divorce. You'll walk away with money, security, a fresh start. But until then, you're Mrs. Moretti. Untouchable. It was insane. Marrying a man I barely knew, making our fake relationship legally real, tying myself to his world in ways I couldn't undo. But Marcus knowing who I was, Tyler still looking for me, the constant threat hovering over everything. How long would we have to stay married? Long enough to be convincing. A year, maybe 2. Then an amicable divorce, no drama, clean split. He squeezed my hand. Think about it. Sleep on it. But Sophia, Marcus is dangerous. If he decides to use you against me, paper marriage or not, I'll protect you. But marriage makes that protection legal, official, unquestionable. That night I couldn't sleep. Marriage. To Luca Moretti. Making our arrangement permanent, at least on paper. Binding myself to a man who was equal parts protector and danger. Around 2 a.m. I gave up on sleep and found Luca in his study, working on his laptop, a glass of whiskey at his elbow. Can't sleep either? He closed the laptop. I'm guessing you have questions about my proposal. So many questions. I settled in the chair across from his desk. But mainly why? Why go this far for someone you barely know? Someone who's just, what, a debt to be collected. You stopped being just a debt the moment you trusted me with your story. The moment you agreed to play this role without complaint or manipulation. He swirled the whiskey in his glass. Sophia, I've spent 3 years avoiding connections, avoiding caring about anyone because caring makes you vulnerable. But somewhere in the past month, you became more than just an obligation. You became someone I actually care about protecting. That's not what you said 2 weeks ago. You said this was temporary, that I'd walk away when it was over. I lied. Or maybe I believed it then. But things change. People change. He met my eyes. I'm not asking you to marry me because of obligation. I'm asking because I want to make sure you're safe, legally and permanently. And yes, because I've gotten used to having you around. Used to your presence, your company, your voice in my home. Is that selfish? Absolutely. But I'm done pretending this is just an arrangement. What is it then? I don't know yet. But I'd like the time to figure it out without Tyler Morrison or Marcus Romano threatening that possibility. He stood, moving around the desk to stand in front of me. So what do you say, Sophia Chen? Will you marry me? For protection, for legal security, for the chance to maybe become something real instead of just pretending. I looked up at him, this dangerous, complicated man who'd saved my life and given me safety, and somewhere along the way become someone I couldn't imagine leaving. The smart thing would be to say no, to maintain distance, to remember this was supposed to be temporary. But I'd stopped being smart the moment I climbed into his car a month ago. Yes, I'll marry you. His smile was genuine, relieved. Thank you for trusting me with this. When? Soon. This week if possible. The faster we make it legal, the faster you're protected. He pulled me to my feet, his hands on my waist. And Sophia? I'm going to kiss you now. Because if we're getting married, we should at least have kissed once before the wedding. He gave me time to say no, to pull away. But I didn't. When his lips met mine, it was nothing like I'd expected, not possessive or demanding, but patient and thorough. Like he was memorizing me, learning me, promising something without words. When we broke apart, we were both breathing hard. I couldn't find words. Yeah. His forehead rested against mine. It was. 3 days later, the courthouse wedding was simple, practical, nothing like the elaborate ceremony my younger self had once imagined. Just Luca and me, Marco and Isabella as witnesses, a judge who owed Luca a favor. Do you, Luca Moretti, take Sophia Chen to be your lawfully wedded wife? I do. His voice was steady, certain. And do you, Sophia Chen, take Luca Moretti to be your lawfully wedded husband? I looked at Luca, this man who'd protected me, cared for me, become my sanctuary in the months since I'd hidden in his car. This dangerous, complicated, surprisingly gentle man who was offering me legal protection in exchange for, what? Time to figure out if we could be real? I do. By the power vested in me, I now pronounce you husband and wife. You may kiss your bride. Luca's kiss was brief, chaste, more promise than passion. But it sealed everything, the protection, the commitment, the next chapter of whatever this was becoming. Congratulations, Mr. and Mrs. Moretti. The judge handed us the marriage certificate. May you have a long and happy union. Thank you, Judge. Luca tucked the certificate into his jacket. Your assistance is appreciated. Isabella hugged me as we left the courthouse. Welcome to the family. For real this time. And Sophia? Take care of my brother. He needs someone who'll challenge him, not just follow orders. I'll do my best. In the car afterward, I stared at the rings Luca had produced, simple bands that somehow felt more significant than the elaborate jewelry he'd been buying me all month. Mrs. Moretti. Luca tested the words. How does it feel? Surreal. But also, right? Is that crazy? If it is, we're both crazy. He brought my hand to his lips, pressing a kiss to the new ring. Thank you. For trusting me with this. For choosing to stay. Thank you for giving me a reason to stay. I leaned against him. So what happens now? Now we tell my family. Announce it properly, make it official in ways that matter to my world. And we wait for Tyler or Marcus to make their next move, because they will. But this time when they come for you, they're coming for my wife. And that's a very different calculation. Will it always be like this? Waiting for threats, preparing for attacks. I hope not. I hope eventually, Tyler gives up and Marcus finds something else to focus on. But until then, yes. We stay vigilant, stay protected, stay together. His arm tightened around me. But Sophia, I promise you this, no one touches my wife. No one threatens you and lives to regret it. That's not bravado. That's fact. Very romantic, threatening murder on our wedding day. I'm a romantic at heart. Just with a higher body count than most. But he was smiling. That evening, we had dinner at the Moretti family home, a celebration of our marriage that Rosa insisted on despite the short notice. She cried, called me daughter, made Luca promise to give her grandchildren someday. Not someday, Mama. Eventually. Maybe. Luca deflected with practiced ease. Right now, we're just enjoying being newlyweds. You better give her grandchildren eventually, Isabella whispered to me later. She's been waiting 3 years for Luca to move on from Elena. You're her best hope. No pressure or anything. Welcome to the family. Pressure is our love language. But she was smiling. Later, back at the penthouse that was now officially our home, Luca poured champagne. To Mrs. Moretti. May she survive being married to me. To Mr. Moretti. May he survive being married to me. I clinked my glass against his. So, are we doing this? Really trying to make this work instead of just pretending? I'd like to try. If you're willing. He set down his glass, moving closer. Sophia, I can't promise normal. Can't promise safe or easy or anything resembling a traditional marriage. But I can promise loyalty, protection, and genuine effort to make you happy. Is that enough? I thought about Tyler, about the life I'd escaped. About the month I'd spent learning to trust again, to laugh again, to feel safe in my own skin. About the man who'd made all of that possible without asking for anything except my presence and cooperation. It's more than enough. I kissed him, deeper this time, more meaning behind it. We'll figure out the rest as we go. Together? Together. That night, when he asked if I wanted him to sleep in the guest room, I pulled him toward the master bedroom instead. Stay. We're married now. Might as well share the bed we're supposed to be sharing. He stayed. And if we fell asleep wrapped around each other, both of us having finally stopped pretending this was just an arrangement, neither of us mentioned it. Some truths were better shown than spoken. Month 3 being Mrs. Moretti was nothing like I'd expected and everything I hadn't known I needed. The marriage that had started as protection had become real. Somewhere between sharing morning coffee and falling asleep tangled together, between family dinners and quiet evenings, Luca had stopped being my protector and started being my husband. Actually, genuinely my husband. You're staring, Luca observed from across the breakfast table, not looking up from his tablet. I'm appreciating. There's a difference. Appreciating what? How normal this has become. You, me, breakfast, pretending to read the news while actually watching each other. It's very domestic. Domestic. He finally looked up, smiling slightly. A month ago you would have said trapped. Now it's domestic. That's progress. A month ago I was still afraid this was temporary. That I'd wake up and you'd have changed your mind about protecting me. I refilled my coffee. Now I'm more afraid of what happens when we don't need the protection anymore. When Tyler's really gone and there's no reason for me to stay. There are plenty of reasons for you to stay that have nothing to do with Tyler. He stood, moving around the table to pull me to my feet. Like the fact that I've gotten used to having you here. That my family adores you. That you make this place feel like a home instead of just a space I sleep in. Very romantic. I'm working on my romantic declarations. Give me time. He kissed me, familiar and warm. Speaking of Tyler, I got word this morning. He's left the city. Permanently. Apparently, the continued threats to his safety and the mysterious disappearance of his security team convinced him to relocate to Europe. New start, new city, far away from anyone who might be protecting you. He's really gone? I couldn't quite believe it. Really gone? My people confirmed it. He sold his company, liquidated his assets here, bought a villa in Italy of all places. Ironic, but effective. He's no longer a threat. Luca's hands settled on my waist. Which means you're free, Sophia. Free from Tyler, free from the fear, free from the arrangement that brought you here. And our marriage? That's up to you. His voice was carefully neutral. We can divorce quietly, part as friends, give you the fresh start I promised. Or, he trailed off. Or we try making this real. Not just protection or convenience, but an actual marriage. With all the complications and compromises and commitment that entails. His dark eyes held mine. I'm not pressuring you. You've earned your freedom 100 times over. But Sophia, if you want to stay, if you want to try making this work for real, I'm willing to try. Before I could answer, my phone rang. An unknown number. I almost didn't answer, old habits dying hard, but Luca nodded permission. Hello? Sophia? Oh my God, Sophia, is that really you? A woman's voice, familiar but distant. It took me a moment to place it. Amy? My college roommate, someone I hadn't spoken to in 2 years because Tyler had systematically cut me off from everyone I'd known before him. Yes. I've been trying to find you for months. I saw the missing persons report Tyler filed, and I knew something was wrong. He said you were unstable, off your medication, but that didn't sound like you at all. Are you okay? Where are you? Luca was watching me carefully, reading my expression. I put the phone on speaker. I'm okay, Amy. I'm safe. Tyler and I broke up. The missing persons report was his way of trying to find me, but I left for good reasons. I knew it. God, I knew he was lying. Sophia, some of us have been looking for you, trying to figure out if you were really okay or if… She paused. Are you somewhere safe? Do you need help? I'm safe. Very safe. Actually, I'm married now. The silence on the other end was deafening. Married? To who? When? It's complicated. But I'm happy, Amy. For the first time in years, I'm actually happy. Then I'm happy for you. She sounded emotional. Sophia, I'm so sorry I lost touch. Tyler made it so hard to reach you, and I thought I should have tried harder. Should have known something was wrong. It's not your fault. Tyler was very good at isolation. But I'm out now. I'm free. And I have your number. Can we meet for coffee sometime? Catch up properly? I'd love that. Really, I would. She gave me her current number, made me promise to call, told me she loved me and was glad I was safe. When I hung up, Luca was still watching me. Amy. Old friend from college. Tyler cut me off from her 2 years ago. Said she was a bad influence, that she didn't understand our relationship. I set down the phone. I'd forgotten what it was like to have friends. To have people who cared about me without wanting to control me. You can have that again. All of it. Friends, freedom, your own life. He moved closer. You don't owe me anything anymore, Sophia. The debt's paid. Tyler's gone. You're free to leave to build the life you want. I won't stop you. And if the life I want includes you, then I'm the luckiest man alive. His smile was genuine, vulnerable in a way I rarely saw. But I need to hear you say it. Not because you owe me, not because you're grateful, but because you actually want this. Want us. I thought about the past 3 months. About hiding in his car, desperate and terrified. About the deal I'd made, the debt I'd accepted. About slowly learning to trust him, to feel safe with him, to care about him in ways that had nothing to do with protection or obligation. About falling in love with him without meaning to. I want this. I want us. Not because I owe you or need you, but because somewhere between the arrangement and the marriage, you became the person I choose. Every day I choose you. I touched his face. I love you, Luca Moretti. And not because you saved me, but because of who you are. All of you. The dangerous parts, the gentle parts, the complicated parts. All of it. His kiss was different this time, not claiming or protecting, but celebrating. Pure joy and relief and love. I love you too, he murmured against my lips. Half for weeks, maybe months. But I was afraid to say it, afraid it would scare you away or make you feel obligated. His forehead rested against mine. You're the best thing that's happened to me in years, Sophia. The best decision I never meant to make. We should probably tell your family that this is real now. That we're not just playing at being married. They already know. My mother figured it out weeks ago. Said she could tell by how I looked at you. He pulled me closer. But yes, we should make it official. No more pretending, no more arrangements. Just us trying to build something real. That evening we had dinner with the Moretti family. Rosa was delighted when Luca announced that our marriage was permanent and genuine, as if she hadn't already known. Isabella just smiled knowingly and raised her glass in a toast. To love finding us in unexpected places, she said. And to Sophia, for making my brother remember what it's like to be happy. The celebration went late into the night, wine and laughter and family warmth that I'd never experienced growing up. This was what it meant to belong, to be part of something bigger than yourself. Later, back at the penthouse, our home, really our home now, Luca pulled me onto the balcony. The city spread out below us, lights twinkling like stars. I have something for you. He produced a small box. Your original wedding ring was practical, functional. But if we're doing this for real, you deserve something that actually means something. Inside was a ring that took my breath away, not ostentatious but beautiful. A band embedded with small diamonds that caught the light perfectly. Luca, it's gorgeous. It's yours. Along with everything else, my protection, my resources, my heart. All of it. He slid it onto my finger next to the original band. Mrs. Moretti. My wife. For real this time. For real this time. I kissed him, deep and promising. So what happens now? We just live? Have a normal marriage? Define normal. We live in a penthouse, I run operations that technically don't exist legally, and we met because you hid in my car while running from your abusive ex. He smiled. But yes, we live. We build a life together. We figure out the rest as we go. I'd like to reconnect with my old friends. People Tyler cut me off from. Start rebuilding those relationships. Do it. I want you to have your own life, your own connections. I'm not Tyler, Sophia. I don't need to control you to keep you. He pulled me close. Though I reserve the right to be irrationally jealous if anyone looks at you wrong. Noted. And I want to work. Maybe go back to school, finish my degree. I gave up so much for Tyler and I want to reclaim that. Whatever you want. I'll support it. His hand traced down my spine. Anything else? Eventually? Maybe kids. But not yet. Let's just be us for a while first. Agreed. My mother will be disappointed, she wants grandchildren yesterday. But she can wait. He kissed my neck. Right now I just want to enjoy my wife. The one I chose. The one who chose me back. We stayed on the balcony for a long time, wrapped around each other, watching the city lights. This was peace. This was home. This was what I'd been running toward when I'd hidden in his car 3 months ago, even if I hadn't known it then. Luca? I said eventually. Thank you. For that night, for stopping, for not just throwing me out when you found me. For giving me this chance. Thank you for trusting me with your safety. For seeing past what I am to who I am. For choosing to stay even when you didn't have to. His arms tightened. You saved me too, Sophia. From a life that was just existing without actually living. From being alone because I was too afraid to let anyone in. You saved me. We saved each other. We did. He turned me to face him. So here's my promise, Mrs. Moretti. I will protect you, cherish you, love you for the rest of our lives. I will never take your freedom, never control you, never make you feel trapped the way Tyler did. And I will spend every day proving that you made the right choice when you chose to stay. And here's mine, I will trust you, support you, love you through whatever comes. I will be your partner, not your possession. Your equal, not your subordinate. And I will spend every day being grateful that I hid in the right car on the worst night of my life. We kissed on the balcony as the city hummed below us, two people who'd found each other through desperation and danger and somehow built something beautiful from the wreckage. 3 months ago, I'd been running for my life with nothing but fear and determination. Now I was standing in the arms of a man who loved me, protected by family who'd claimed me, free to build whatever future I wanted. I love you, I whispered. I love you too, Luca whispered back. My wife. My choice. My home. And for the first time in years I believed in happy endings.